Do you think? Let's do this. But do you think that this Stanley Cup matchup is this the best scenario possible, or do you see any other scenarios that you would evenly equate to what we're seeing now?
This is the best Stanley Cup matchup possible. Unlike basketball, where I could have named at least a couple other matchups I would honestly prefer. Honestly, but don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
This Mavericks and Celtics series is super intriguing. I'm gonna watch every single minute of it.
I'm hoping not to miss any of it.
Yeah.
So aside from,
It's kind of our job to kind of cover it.
Yeah,
A little bit.
But yeah, I agree.
But no, this matchup I really like.
And I definitely, since you brought that up, I definitely want to do like at least one of these games. I want to be a live stream during
100%.
the game, and we may even do an extended version where we do maybe an hour and a half or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but I want to do something interactive with the listeners and the subscribers for that, because this is a big time of year for basketball. This is the NBA Finals, and it's a big time of year. But I didn't mean to interrupt there, so keep going.
No. And there's a couple reasons why I really like this matchup. It's the best possible matchup. The narratives around it. You got Connor McDavid going to his first Stanley Cup. Legacy-defining moment potentially. Hopefully one of many Stanley Cup Finals. And then you got, absolute buzzsaw of a team in the Panthers. They're looking to prove that, hey, their dominance the last couple of years, ends up in a Stanley Cup, Finals, right? To host the Cup, right? So there's a lot of people trying to prove something, and either way, whoever wins, you're getting a great story.
I agree.
Either way,
that's the perfect way of putting it.
And aside from that, if we're just talking about the style of play, I mean, the Panthers, man, they come at you in waves. Their offense is the thing is, if you're trying to contain the Panthers, you need a great goalie, an informed goalie, and you got to be stout defensively, man, because they come at you. They put shots up. We saw it with the Rangers. They put shots up, putting
23 to 10. Like, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, some of the numbers they put up was insane.
It's absurd. And so you've got to be prepared for that. When they go to a second line, third line, they can do just as much damage as the first line. So you're talking about a team that really has no weaknesses. And the Oilers, they play an exciting brand of hockey. In years past with Connor McDavid, he didn't really have the team necessary to go on a deep run, right? To go all the way to Stanley Cup Finals. Now he has the resources. Now he has the team behind him, and now it's paying off, right? Very similar to Luka. Finally has the pieces. Boom, I'm gonna take you to the promised land. Same with Connor McDavid, and they're no slouches. Obviously, they're here for a reason. They put up goals. They're very fun to watch. So, man, I'm just stoked.
You basically covered everything I was going to say with that answer. But I love this scenario. Like I said, I've been riding the Oilers since the very beginning of this, NHL postseason playoff season. And they've done nothing but impress me. Again, I love to see the Connor McDavid factor where he's finally going to the Stanley Cup. Now I think we talk about does Edmonton have what it takes to shut this Florida team down? And to me, that's a very hard question to answer, because I like the momentum that Edmonton has right now. I mean, Florida is a behemoth of a hockey team. They're just a juggernaut, right? Yeah. Edmonton is not quite on that size level, but they have this energy factor behind them right now. Yep. And when I say that, I think of all the stories I've heard from the Luke Combs concert that was here this weekend, and they said that the energy when he came out and started singing, there was more energy there than there's ever been in an Arizona Cardinal football game. And it's the same thing.
To be fair, that's not really saying
so
much.
I know, but I think about that. But I think about the energy, and Edmonton's got some followers. I mean, we saw some crazy signs over the last couple of weeks of people who are traveling 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 miles to watch this team. They're following, they're backing, everything is there. Do they have what it takes to shut Florida down? I think if they play very, very aggressive and very smart, and they take more shots on goal than Florida does, which they can very well do. They're a very aggressive, shot-taking team. I think they could shut them down, but I think we got to also be realistic. And I think Florida is they're just a badass team.
They're just a badass team.
What do you think,
dude.
man?
It's just like, Connor McDavid is, reaching the Stanley Cup Finals at the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, you can't really say that. Because, I mean, shit, you know, you want to go Stanley Cup, you know, whichever year, right? It's a huge privilege to make all, you know, that far. But, man, the Panthers, man, they're dismantling teams, like really good teams. The Bruins, I could if they would have somehow been the Panthers, they could have gone to the Stanley Cup. The Rangers, obviously, man, I think they would have won the Stanley Cup. You know, they're beating teams that potentially could have won the whole thing. But this is just the baddest team of them all. This is like the Goliath that you always keep referencing to.
Yeah, they really are.
This is the team, but you know, kind of similar to like LeBron. You know, when he had to go against those Warriors teams, it's gonna take a Herculean effort to be able to take down
100%.
the Panthers. So,
100%.
and I know the Panthers are, man. If you lose the Stanley Cup Finals again, that's gotta be heartbreaking. I know that's in the back of their minds. They're thinking, we do not want to lose this shit again.
I think that's why they've been playing with this mode of like, we are not doing this again. We're here to show you guys we're meaning business. And bring up a good point. Does Edmonton hoist this Stanley Cup trophy over the heads? At the end of this, I don't know. I think it would be an exciting story regardless. I think you put those words out there a little while ago. I think it's going to be a great story for both teams. Obviously, both teams want to win. That's not necessarily going to happen. But I think it's interesting because while we talk about Florida being this massive team, right? They're just a juggernaut of a team. Surprisingly, the lines for Game 1 are so damn close. It's almost hard for anyone to make a bet one way or the other. You got a minus 115, plus 115 line for both teams. I mean, that's almost nothing. That's basically a pin here, right? And so I'm interested to see if this moves anyway. I mean, you got two full teams. You got two healthy teams. You got two teams that are hungry. So I think this could be. However, the one thing I think is lopsided is the over/under. It's at 5.5 right now. I think you got two teams that are coming out here. They're gonna shoot lights out. I think we're going to see this game go 7 or above in points. So I'm definitely going to grab it and throw it on my parlay because I think you're going to see a high scoring Game 1. And
trusted advice on that. You've been money on your hockey predictions.
So I really feel this is going to be a high scoring, high shooting, lights out game. Both teams are coming out here. The only slight edge I think is Florida's playing at home to start Game 1, and that is going to be. I think that plays a little factor in there, but. I'm definitely running with the over on this because I think both teams are going to fucking put 25 to 30 shots on goal. And I think as a result, we see a 7 or higher point game. And that's just my take on it. So,
yeah. I mean, both teams are juiced for different reasons. Edmonton for, first Stanley Cup Finals appearance in how many years since Wayne Gretzky. Panthers going back thinking, okay, we're not playing, a Golden Knights team that was, they seemed like the team of destiny last year. So they think they're the favorites. And so, yeah, I mean, two teams that have every reason to think that, hey, we feel like we're the best team in hockey. So